My job as a salesperson is to get in before many times our clients know they have a need.
Welcome back, viewers. Thank you for being with us, and I've got a special treat. I've got Joanne Black again. Welcome back, Joanne.
Thank you, John.
Hey, it's great to have you here in Sydney again. Look, I am really interested in that adage out there that people are talking about, that buyers are 67% of their way through a buying process before they invite vendors to talk with them. Now, I know you've got some opinions on that. I'd be interested in those opinions, and also how, in your mind, referral selling addresses that problem.
If you believe the 67% statistic, and it varies, some say it's more, some say it's less, then you're just going to sit back and wait. That's not what sales is about.
You become a commodity provider, don't you? You're going to be asked in, show me your product, what's your price, we're going to make a decision.
Yes.
And you don't want to be there.
Absolutely not. I don't believe that. My job as a salesperson is to get in before many times our clients know they have a need.
Exactly.
Yes. So to begin the relationship, to begin a conversation. And things always come up. So when you get a referral introduction, people share about what's going on in their organization. They tell you the truth. I've been amazed at some of the things I hear. Some of it I probably shouldn't have heard, but they share information, they tell you the truth. And so we have an opportunity to build a relationship, to learn about people, to find mutual connections, to really start to cement that relationship. And typically we will find a need, but even if we don't at that moment, then we can ask them, who else do you know I should be talking to?
Yes, you can get a referral, but the fact is you are building a trusted relationship. You are creating value for that organisation. If you're bringing, as we've discussed in the previous meetings, insight to the table, you're bringing something of value to that, and nothing to do with your product at this stage. Yes. It's more about their business from their context. Then you will build a relationship. They'll start to trust you. They'll start to see the value you can bring to the table, and then they're much more likely to give you a referral if they haven't got an opportunity for you right now.
Exactly. And it's really the insights we share, like you said, because so many times senior people don't get out there. I mean, they'll go talk to their customers and they'll get a lot of information that way. But because many of us call on multiple businesses, multiple industries, that we have a view of the world they never get. So they're very interested in what we can bring to the table. That is key. That's our goal. The referrals work when we get that introduction.
That makes a lot of sense. So look, and maybe it's too quick to jump in the bottom line, but this makes a lot of sense to me. That 67% story that I hear all the time, yeah. I see salespeople accepting that, and they wait for the opportunity, and they're part of their approach and qualification. Are you looking at doing this sort of thing? I have a product for you, and if the customer says, I am, it's 60% of the way through the process. What you're saying, and I'm saying, there's lots of ways we need to get in early in the process, and maybe, as you say, right back before they even know they have an opportunity. And referral selling is one of the key ways, if not the key way, of doing that.
Well, it is. And in fact, many people I talk to, especially in technology companies, when I speak to them, and I've spoken to many of the large tech companies, to their salespeople and their partners, and they will say, you know what, the company is just not giving us enough qualified leads. So they're waiting for marketing, for the company to send them qualified leads. Well, they're not. It's our job to get those.
And most of the marketing programs out there, they're going to identify a lead when the customer is at that 67% point and they're ready to talk to a vendor. That's too late.
That's a commodity.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that absolutely doesn't work. And we need to get past that unless we want to be viewed as a commodity. And that doesn't work for any of us. So just like a lot of things, that 67% number, I think, is a lot of hype. And I don't believe it, because if I do, I'm not going to be in business.
Joanne, I'm going to say I do believe it. The issue there is that if salespeople believe it, that's what happens, and wait for the 60s, they're out of business. So we have to make sure that we're not caught in the 67% syndrome. We need
Yes.
to be right back at number 1%.
Well, here's the other thing that happens today, and it's one of the reasons I rarely download anything, because the perception is, well, if I've been to their site, I've downloaded a white paper, I viewed a webinar, well, I must be a certain amount of the way through the sales process. Well, then what happens? They send me cold emails, at least 3 or 4, and they say, I don't know whether you had a chance to read my previous email. And then the phone calls start. I don't do it, and I would love to read some of the things that are out there, but I don't.
Joan, you're very black and white on this, aren't you? It's referral selling or nothing?
Yes,
You're really saying that?
I am.
That's quite controversial.
When you think about it, John, isn't that the way people have always sold? I mean, you can go back generations, you can go back thousands of years. People built relationships. It goes back to the days they used to barter, right?
Sure.
It's always built on the relationships that
Part
we
of the
had.
human psyche.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. So that's what I'm saying. I used to, in a company I worked for, have to cold call. I mean, I really didn't think it was that, but what happened was marketing had sent a CD, or I guess it was a DVD, to a client about our new product and why they should buy it. And then I had to call the VPs of sales at these large companies to get a meeting. They had no idea what I was talking about. Do you ever think they ever watched the thing? Of course not. It just doesn't work. I have never believed in cold calling or spending my time doing that. Doesn't work.
Look, that's great insight, and I'm very interested. When I publish this, make comments on the bottom. I'd love to get the feedback from my audience out there, all the sales leaders and salespeople. What's happening in your world in terms of cold calling, warm calling versus referral selling, and what's worked for you and why. And let's see what your thoughts are about Joanne, which says there's really only one way to do it, and that's referral selling. Joanne, that whole buying process and the way we manage that process makes a lot of sense that we get in very early.
Yes.
And I understand what you're saying about referral selling. It really gets you in right at the beginning and helps set the scene, build the relationship up front.
That's it.